What's up guys, it's Trevor with Embers Living. Today we have another new top 5 videos. Top 5. So the problem is, you can see in our showroom, this showroom is filled with barbecues. There's barbecues everywhere. The guys tell me how much they love wheeling these barbecues in and out every day. So many. Problem is, when you have that many barbecues, it's really hard to break them down by category and how to rank them. And quite frankly, how the heck do you know which one to buy? Thankfully, you guys have these videos that break it down. So we break it down into 3 different categories. We have top 5 quality grills, top 5 premium grills, top 5 luxury grills. Today we're talking about top 5 premium grills. Let's go. If you're in the Denver, Colorado area, come to our showroom today. You can check out all these products for yourself. If you're new to our channel, make sure you subscribe, hit the smash the like button, do all this stuff. Follow us on TikTok for some amazing, amazing content. Anyways, just follow us, helps us out a ton. All right, so this is number 5, but before I get into number 5, the reasoning by category, we'll put links below to the 3 categories. So at a specialty barbecue shop like us, we usually start off where the big box stores end. So we sell $500–600 grills, but that's really not our specialty. So our quality category in general, it's not a hard rule, but in general, figure our quality category is gonna be in the $1,500 to $3,000 range. Premium category is gonna be between the $3,000 and $6,000 range. And our luxury premium quality, our luxury category is gonna be $7K plus. Dang, those are some nice barbecues. We already got that video wrapped. That video is posting soon. So now we're gonna do premium, just a step down from luxury. If you want something better than big box to be quality. If you want something better than quality, you wanna spend a little bit more, but you don't wanna go crazy in a luxury category, this is the video for you. And quite frankly, the barbecues in this video are our best sellers. So where you're gonna take a step up or a leap, but you're not going bonkers. So let's get started with number 5. So a lot of the videos that are in the top 5 premium category are gonna be American-made barbecues. And what happens is sometimes a lot of these American-made brands make ultra luxury products, and they'll also offer more of a reasonable, I don't wanna say budget model, because it's not really budget, but they're gonna offer something a little more reasonable. And so a lot of those grills fall in this particular category. This is number 5. This is the Lynx Sedona series. So if you're curious about the Lynx Professional series, that's gonna be in our luxury category. Check these out. So this particular one is on the cart. How are our followers doing?
Oh, they're good, 45.
45, that's pretty good. All right, let's keep going. What's up guys? Thanks for following us live today. So this is the Lynx Sedona series. So this guy, is just gonna be a step below the Lynx Professional series. If you're interested in the Professional series, that's in our luxury video. So bounce over to that video, check it out. So the Sedona series comes in a built-in or cart model. This is the 30-inch cart model. It is made in the United States. What do we like about it? Well, we like that it's spring-assisted hood. And just like the Professional series, it just has nice, clean lines. I think it's more of an understated barbecue, which is cool. We still get exterior lighting and interior lighting, and we still have thick cooking grates. In fact, I think they're very, very similar to like the Professional series cooking grates. We have an infrared burner, and then over here, we're gonna have ceramic briquettes with kind of a U-shaped high BTU burner. So it's a high quality grill. You can see it's all 304 stainless. And then we have a lot of vertical space in the grill. Now this particular one, we do not have a rotisserie burner. So usually when you go to these more affordable models, you can order it with or without a rotisserie burner. The reason being is the rotisserie burner, if you don't need it, it's gonna save you a little bit of money on the budget versus the counterpart luxury model. You sort of get everything loaded up in it. So I'm not gonna do a huge versus video. If you wanna know the differences between the Sedona and the Professional, we already have a video on that breaks them down entirely, so you can check that out. So this is number 5, and quite frankly, I made the top 5 just because it's made by a really solidly backed company. The raw materials in this grill are awesome, and they're a great company to work with. And again, I like to see a lot of vertical space. A lot of times when people skimp on a budget, or not people, manufacturers, it's because they're trying to reduce costs. And usually the simplest way to reduce costs is to lower your raw material costs. And they do that a lot by shrinking the top of this. That is not the case here. So that's the Lynx Sedona series. Should we move on to number 4? All right, coming in at number 4 is gonna be AOG, or American Outdoor Grill Series. Let's talk about it. So much like the Lynx Sedona series, this guy is gonna be the budget brand of Fire Magic. So again, if you wanna know the differences between Fire Magic and AOG, we'll include a link below. Again, we have an American-made product. So one thing we kind of lose with AOG is gonna be the spring-assisted hood. And again, just like the Lynx, we can do it with or without a rotisserie burner. So you can do it without the rotisserie to save a bit of money. They use really cool cooking grates, I think. So see how they're kind of more of like a flat top? I really like that about this grill. And again, you can see we're not skimping on the vertical space that we have in the grill, which is really nice. I think it's a really underrated feature, is the amount of vertical space you can have in a barbecue. It helps with a rotisserie, even though this one doesn't have it. We can also fit a lot more in here between this and our warming rack, which is very helpful. And then one of my favorite things about AOG is they don't use the ceramic briquettes. They sort of use these flame tamer type things. And I think these do a better job in general of reducing flare-ups. I've talked about this in a lot of my videos, unless your ceramic briquettes are reversible, which we'll be getting to. Again, very similar to Lynx. They're gonna use like a U-shaped burner here, and nothing wrong with that. I think it does a really, really solid job. I think this grill, I would recommend this grill to somebody if they wanted an American-made product, but they really don't want anything fancy. Like they want almost no bells and whistles, and they want it just a simple product that is well made. Take a look at this guy. It's kind of, I don't want to say this is not really the word I mean, but it's kind of boring. Like it's just sort of old reliable. Like there's just a tried and true barbecue that's backed by a really good company that's been around forever, that just makes really, really solid grills and uses really good quality raw materials. So that's gonna be the AOG series. This is the 30-inch. Again, it comes in a 36. You can do it on a cart, without a cart, with a rotisserie, without a rotisserie. But if you're interested in springing for this type of barbecue, but a more luxurious product, that's gonna be more of the Fire Magic series, which will include links below. We'll include links below. All right, let's get to number 3. All right, coming in at number 3, it's gonna be the DCS 7 series. Now again, we're gonna sound like a broken record. This is the downgraded model of the DCS 9 series, which is gonna be more of a luxury type grill. What do we love about the 7 series? Well, first of all, these guys are made in Mexico, so they're gonna be just south of the border, south of McAllen, Texas. That's where they're made. So we don't get spring assisted hood, but again, a common theme here, we get a ton of vertical space within the grill itself. And we have the option to have a rotisserie or not have a rotisserie. But their rotisserie is a little bit nicer than some of the other brands in the sense that there's no interior lighting on the grill, but we do get a rotisserie light and it does a pretty stinking good job. Like, don't you think, Chris, that lights up the whole grill?
Yeah, it's really good.
At first I thought it was gonna be kind of gimmicky, but I really like it. The only bad thing about it is it's not my favorite to look at on the side of the grill. But okay, biggest selling feature with DCS is gonna be their cast stainless cooking grates. So they're one of the only manufacturers, not the only manufacturer, but one of, that uses cast stainless cooking grates. I think these are the best cooking grates you can get, or one of the best cooking grates that you can get, because you get the heat retention of cast iron, but the durability of stainless steel, basically making them bulletproof, and they're reversible. So you can kind of go this way, or you can do the cup side, where it's gonna collect your juices. And what's kind of unique to them is, check this out. Their cooking grates are at an angle. So everything's gonna sort of drip forward, which is kind of cool. It's gonna keep all your drippings, down below. And then they use more of a unique type of ceramic briquette. I do think it's better than some of the other brands. They sort of use these little rope thingies. And what's kind of cool about it is you can just rotate them to always make sure you have a clean side that you're cooking on, which is actually very handy. And then let's take a look at their burners. Again, sort of standard U-shaped burners. And this guy also has some unique features in the cart model. Now again, like all the other ones, we can do this on a cart or as a built-in, but look, check this out. Their cart model has this option for sort of these walnut cutting boards that go in here as insets. And I actually really like that because they're big, they give you a lot of prep space. And you know, I review so many grills and I see so many different barbecues. I like seeing stuff that's a little bit different. So these guys are different. They have the diagonal cooking grates. They have the cast stainless cooking grates, sort of the unique U-shape, or not U-shape, sort of the unique ceramic ropes, the light on the rotisserie kit, and the walnut cutting boards. So very unique. I'd say this is probably one of the more unique ones that is in our top 5. Again, if you want the full breakdown between the 7 and 9, we'll include that link below. All right, should we go on to number 2? All right, coming in at number 2, we got the Aspire Barbecue by Hestan Grills. Let's talk about it. Okay, broken record, pretty much the same thing in all these things we're reviewing. This is the budget model of the Hestan series. The Hestan grill is going to be in the luxury category if you want to check that out. What do we like about the Aspire series? Well, one of my favorite things about the Hestan brand in particular is going to be the aesthetics. Now, I know you don't buy the barbecues for the aesthetics. I get ripped apart a lot for that, but I think their lid, sort of these hard lines, I think is really attractive. I love the Hestan handle. And what's cool about this grill, whether you're doing it as a built-in or a cart, you can do different color panels on the front, which is really slick. This is the 36-inch. You can do it in a 30-inch and a 42-inch. And again, just like we were talking about, you can do it with or without rotisserie. So if you wanted to save money, you don't have to do a rotisserie kit. We get interior lighting. This particular one has a rotisserie. You can see we have the spring assisted hood. We got sort of your classic solid stainless steel cooking grates, and you can do this with different burner configurations too. So this particular one, we have one infrared burner. And then these guys use the ceramic briquettes, which again, remember how I said they're not my favorite, but check these ones out. See, they're in there at a diagonal. They're completely reversible. So that's a huge advantage. And if you're gonna use ceramic briquettes, you really want something that's reversible. Otherwise, it's gonna affect the way you cook. And that's what we wanna pay attention to in our barbecues. So essentially, if they're not reversible, what that means is the more grease that builds up on here is gonna cause flare-ups. But the advantage to these is they really promote even heat throughout the grill without having hot spots. And it actually does work. But let's say these weren't reversible. Here's what you'd have to do. After each cook, you'd have to put on some welding gloves or wait for it to cool down, flip it over, turn it back on, burn everything off, let it cool down, then re-flip it over before you cook the next time. The fact that they're reversible, all you have to do is every time before you start cooking, just flip it and then cook with it that way. And then it's burning off all the crud and everything on the bottom side while you're cooking. So you always have a clean side. So that's a big deal. So that's why this is ranked as high as it is. I think out of all the American-made budget models, this one's my favorite. Again, they all kind of use like the same U-shaped burners when we come to this style, and they work great. Nothing really good to say about them, nothing bad to say about them. They're just pretty bulletproof. But yeah, so their ignition system's a little bit nicer too. So you can see on these burners here, they're gonna use a hot glow ignition system. So see that turning bright orange? So that's kind of more like a cigarette lighter type burner that you see in your car. So it's a little bit more reliable as far as a standpoint of durability. And then also you're not gonna get huge amounts of gas buildup while you're waiting to ignite it. You know, you could that sort of poof. That doesn't really happen with the hot surface ignition. So it does have a better ignition system. So this is a really, really solid grill. I think it's one of the more attractive grills. We have reversible briquettes. We have interior lighting. We have spring assisted hood. We have a better ignition system as well. So that's the Aspire series by Hestan. Again, if you want to spring for the bad dog, the big dog Hestan luxury, go check that video out. All right, let's go on to number 1. All right, time for number 1. It's going to be the Blaze Pro series. So, unlike everything else I've been saying where we're talking about the downgraded model and then there's another model in the luxury category, this is the luxury grill that Blaze sells. They actually have a downgraded model called the LTE, which is going to be in our quality video. So make sure you check that out. So why is this ranked number 1? This grill is ranked number 1 because it is essentially a luxury grill minus a few features, and you'll see what I'm talking about as we get into it, but it doesn't have a luxury price tag. So it has a lot of the features and benefits of the luxury grills, but you're not going to spend that much money. You're going to spend the type of money you would on a premium product. That's why it's ranked number 1, and that's why it's our best seller in this particular category. So let's talk about it. Since I'm opening the lid first, let's get that out of the way. The one thing it doesn't have that some of the other grills have is going to be spring assisted hood. That if I was going to add a thing to this grill, that's what I would add to it. But again, you can see nice vertical space in the grill itself. We have interior and exterior lighting, so you can turn those knobs off. You can turn off the interior lighting as well. And then rotisserie is going to be standard on this grill, so you can't order it without rotisserie. This is the 34-inch. You can get it in a 34 or a 44, and again, you can do it as built-in or a cart model. I just really like the control panel on this. They sort of give you this belly bar, I guess you can call it, and then sort of this flat front panel. I just think it adds a lot to the grill. It's very attractive. And again, rotisserie is going to come standard, but here's some things that make this thing luxury. Look at these cooking grates. Like, they have the heaviest cooking grates out of all the grills. They're sort of this hexagon shape. They're very heavy duty, way over the top. The type of cooking grates, honestly, you'd find in a luxury grill. They also don't use ceramic briquettes. They're going to use these flame tamer type technology. And again, raw material wise, these things are very, very heavy. And this is what takes all of the heat. And you sort of want this to be a heavier duty material where it's not going to warp as much, and this does it. And you can see that it's shaped in a solid way where it's going to protect your burners. So it's going to help protect our burners as well. But again, luxury feature, look at these burners. Cast stainless burners, similar to what I talked about with the cooking grates with DCS, but this is in the actual burner itself. So they're going to be an H burner, cast stainless, very heavy duty, very high BTU. And again, these are the type of burners we're going to see in luxury grills. So you can see we're getting the luxury features. Have a match light option, so you can drop a match in here if for some reason your power's out or your igniter's not working. And they're just going to be sort of the jet fire style igniters, sort of piezo igniters. They're just going to, nothing fancy with those there. So that's the Blaze Pro series. Again, if you want to break down between the Pro and the LTE, we'll include a link for that video as well. But it's clearly the #1 grill because it has the most amount of raw materials in it. It is essentially a luxury grill. It's a luxury grill minus 2 things: spring assisted hood, and it's not made in the United States. Now that being said, it is made overseas. I have not seen an issue with that being any sort of issue from a quality standpoint. So there's no issue from a quality standpoint, the fact that it's not made in the United States. So those are probably the 2 features it's missing. Outside of that, this is like one of our best selling grills, and I think it's rock solid. I think it's a tremendous value. I use the term value loosely because this is not a cheap grill, but for what you're getting, it's pretty hard to beat the value of this, and that's why it's ranked #1 with all the features you get. So that's our top 5 premium grills. Again, we'll include links below if you want to check out the quality grills and the luxury grills. We'll see you guys next time.